Let's take a look at classifications and schedules in AutoCAD Architecture by using ARCHIdigm's custom content. To demonstrate how classifications relate to schedules, I will use the doors. Starting at the content catalog, I'll use the doors kit that we offer and bring in an exterior door or two, just randomly selecting some here. And we'll return to do some interior doors, residential interior doors. Let's just go with some standard doors. All right. So I have 3 doors to start with. If I pick on any of these doors, I'll see the data related to that door if I go to the Extended tab on the Properties palette. Okay, so you'll see some typical type of data. What type of material is the panel? Is it a double door or single hinged? But at the very top, there's something called a classification, which you'll see in a lot of objects in AutoCAD Architecture. By default, I don't think there's much that you will see assigned. I think it just says by style. We took advantage of this neat data feature to use it for scheduling. So on this particular door, it's set to by style proposed, which is the case with just about every single object, I think, in all the kits. They're all set to proposed. If I right-click on that door and go to the Classifications tab, you'll see it has a definition that we created, status basic, with the default classification set to proposed with an indicator of what we mean by that new in the parentheses. If I click on the ellipsis button and expand this classification definition list, you'll see that we've created a group here that we thought were the most basic that you would need on a project. And omitted is for just getting it out of any schedule. For whatever reason that you decide you just don't want to see it. We've used that for things like refrigerator doors, oven doors, cabinet doors, which are actually door objects, but we don't want to see them in a door schedule. So we've set them to omitted. I'll leave this alone and exit out of here. I will copy one of these doors and change the width factor to 30 just to give it some differentiation. Now I'm going to do an override on that classification. Go over here and just assign it under classification to be removed, demolished. Okay. And now I will go ahead, let's see, make sure I'm at a scale that I like, 1/4 inch. Put some numbers on these guys. Like this, and like this. All right, and let's go to a schedule. So for these doors, which are residential type, we'll use the residential schedule. Just select the doors and pop in the schedule. All right, so we have 1, 2, and 3. We're missing number 4, and we'll take a look at why. If I click the schedule, this is our default residential schedule. If I click on this and go to edit the schedule style, all right, what I'm going to do is go over here to where it says applies to, and this is where you'll see on the far right classifications. All right, so the schedule has been designed to read classifications of objects, and there should only be 2 objects in here. If we look through this list of objects, it should be, see if you can guess outside of doors, what else would it be? All right, so let's see, what do we have here? We have door and door window assembly. All right, those are the 2 things it'll read. It won't read anything else. But they have to be classified as proposed or replaced, not demolished or omitted or existing. If you want to create a schedule that shows more information based on these classifications, you can add or subtract them. So for example, if I select a demolish, well, I just click on existing, I'll do all but the omitted, and then hit OK. Come back and do an update. I'll have to do a reselection or just an add. I'll add this one. There we go. So now it pops that one in because this one was set to demolished. All right, but I don't have an indication in my door schedule that I have a door that needs to be demolished. If I have that in my schedule, it's probably a good idea to have that labeled as such. So I'm going to go back here on the schedule, edit the schedule table style, and go to the columns. Now here, I have to decide on whether I want the classification set before or after the mark. I'm going to go ahead and set it before the mark. So I'll highlight mark, add a column, look through the list here and look for status right here. So this is under GT door objects, status, and I'm going to make the heading status. And I'll insert before and click OK and hit OK. All right, so now you'll see that it has the doors that are proposed and the door that is demolished. If I copy any of these doors, bring it over, change its value to, let's see, existing to be replaced. Go ahead and add a number to it. And then add that to the schedule. It has replaced. So this is how you can utilize those classifications to add more information or do a new type of grouping of your door schedule. So this applies to all the schedules in AutoCAD Architecture. I'm going to go back now and go to Layout, Grouping, add a new grouping for this status. So in here now I should be able to see status, right? And I can take the status now that I've added it here, and I can drag it over in front of the numbers so that it does status first in the grouping. And then it'll restructure the status order here according to what's been set in the schedule. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a grouping check and OK. So now it'll group them together, right? So it'll start with, so this is alphabetical. It starts with D, works from to P and down, right? So that's, we can do it reverse of that. Let's see, ascending, we don't want ascending, we want descending. It'll end up looking like that. If you prefer the mark to be the important thing, you can drag the mark over and make it first. It'll end up looking like that, right? Which is probably the better way to do it. And that's the end of this overview of classifications and objects as how they relate to schedules.